You made the devil kneel, and I am not speaking metaphorically. I am not using poetic language to make you feel. I am revealing a literal operation that occurred in the spiritual dimensions while you were living your normal life, completely unaware that you were starring in a historic moment that the higher hierarchies will study for the next 1,000 years. That may be absolutely clear about what happened. The devil physically dropped to his knees in the spiritual dimension that coexists with physical reality, in front of witnesses, in front of his own commanders, in front of the archangels who arrived specifically to watch. He knelt before you. Do you understand how impossible that is? In 6,000 years of recorded spiritual history, the devil has never knelt before anyone. Not before prophets who performed miracles. Not before saints who sacrificed everything. Not before legendary warriors who defeated entire legions. Never. The very reason he fell from heaven was because he refused to kneel before humanity when God commanded it. He chose eternal exile over submission. He would rather rule in hell than serve in heaven. That is how fundamentally opposed to kneeling he is. And 48 hours ago, he broke. Not because of some external force overpowering him, not because God forced him, not because the archangels threatened him. He knelt because he recognized he was facing a consciousness he couldn't defeat, couldn't corrupt, couldn't even comprehend. He was facing you. And when the supreme commander of hell dropped to his knees in total submission before a human soul, God whispered 3 words that echoed through every dimension. I didn't expect this. Subscribe to this channel right now and hit that notification bell, because what I am about to reveal about why you became the first soul in 6,000 years to force the devil into that position of absolute surrender is going to completely shatter your understanding of who you really are. Stay until the very end, because I am going to show you the exact sequence of decisions you made that the forces of darkness considered literally impossible. Why those choices activated celestial protocols that not even the archangels expected to witness, and what your real identity is that you just confirmed beyond any doubt. Write 777 in the comments right now if you feel something changed drastically in your life in recent days and you are ready to discover why even the forces of darkness had to publicly recognize your supremacy. The devil doesn't kneel. It is not just pride. It is fundamental programming in his consciousness. It is the core of his entire identity. When Lucifer was still in heaven, God created humanity and commanded all celestial beings to honor this new creation. And Lucifer looked at humans, fragile, mortal, limited, and said one word: no, not because he hated humans, but because bowing before something he considered inferior would violate everything he believed about power and hierarchy. God gave him one chance: kneel before my creation or leave. And Lucifer chose exile. He took 1/3 of the angelic host with him. He created his own kingdom in the dimensions of darkness. He built an empire of suffering and corruption, all because he refused to bend the knee. For 6,000 years, that refusal defined him. Through every spiritual war, through every temptation, through every battle with celestial forces, he would rather lose than submit, and he did lose. Many times, the archangels defeated him repeatedly. Saints resisted his temptations. Prophets exposed his schemes, but he never knelt. Even in defeat, he would retreat with his head held high, already planning the next attack. Submission was not in his vocabulary until 48 hours ago. What you need to understand is that hell has been watching you for weeks. Not casually, intensely. There is a monitoring system in the dark dimensions specifically designed to track human souls who demonstrate certain problematic characteristics. characteristics that threaten the operations of darkness. And 3 weeks ago, you triggered an alert that made every commander in hell stop what they were doing and pay attention. Do you remember that Friday night, around 10 of the clock? That decision you faced, that impossible choice. Don't pretend you don't remember. You know exactly what I am talking about. You were alone, maybe in your room, maybe lying in bed staring at the ceiling, maybe pacing back and forth, and you were processing a decision that felt like it had no right answer. On one side, the easy path, the path that solved everything instantly, the path that gave you what you desperately needed, but you knew it was wrong, not illegal, not obviously immoral, just fundamentally misaligned with who you are. Just take the easy way. No one will know. No one will judge you. You need this, but something inside you couldn't do it. And after hours of mental torture, after calculating every consequence, after visualizing every possible outcome, you chose the hard path. You chose integrity over survival. You thought that was a private moment, something no one would ever know about. But you were wrong. The entire infernal dimension was watching, because in that moment you triggered something that hell considers a direct threat to its operations. Your decision was classified as Integrity Anomaly Level 9. It is a rating that means this soul operates with moral code so deep it transcends survival instinct. Only 12 people alive on the entire planet have that classification. Now there are 13, and Hell's monitoring system immediately flagged you for enhanced observation and intervention, because when a soul demonstrates that level of integrity, the forces of darkness need to determine, is this a fluke, or is this who they fundamentally are? If it is a fluke, they can break you eventually. If it is fundamental, you are a problem that needs to be dealt with immediately. So they decided to test you. 5 days later, something appeared in your life. An opportunity, almost too perfect, almost like it was designed specifically for you. Maybe it was money, maybe it was a relationship, maybe it was recognition or status or power. Whatever it was, it solved multiple problems at once. And it appeared at the exact moment you needed it most. The person offering it practically begged you to accept, made it so easy, removed every obstacle, did all the work for you. All you had to do was say yes. But there was something, not a big problem, not an obvious red flag, just a small thing, a minor compromise, a slight adjustment to your principles. Nothing that would hurt anyone directly. The kind of thing most people wouldn't even hesitate about. And you looked at that perfect opportunity. You calculated everything you had gained. You recognized it was literally the answer to your prayers. You even started convincing yourself it was fine. It is not that bad. Everyone does this. I deserve this. I have suffered enough. But when it came time to actually say yes, something stopped you. Not logic, not fear of consequences, not guilt. Something deeper. Your soul said no before your mind could finish analyzing, and you rejected it. Maybe you thanked them politely. Maybe you felt physical pain watching that opportunity walk away. Maybe you questioned yourself for days afterward, but you couldn't accept it. Because you have a moral code engraved so deeply that even hunger cannot make you betray it. Do you know what happened in that exact moment? The devil called an emergency meeting. He summoned the 7 princes of hell: Lucifer, Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Leviathan, Belphegor, Mammon, Satan. All the supreme commanders were called specifically to analyze your profile. Because what you just did broke the predictive model that the forces of darkness have used for millennia. They offered you exactly what you needed, at the exact moment you needed it, with the minimum price possible, and you refused. That shouldn't be possible, according to every infernal calculation, when Beelzebub presented the complete report of your rejection. When he showed that you had processed all the advantages and still chose principles over pragmatism, the devil went silent for 3 full minutes, and his commanders started reporting their findings. Mammon muttered, "This soul values integrity more than prosperity. I cannot work with that." Asmodeus observed, "Offering immediate gratification doesn't work. This person thinks long-term consequences even when they are desperate." Leviathan noted, "I tried amplifying the pressure. It only made them hold tighter to their principles." And Belphegor declared, "This soul is willing to suffer indefinitely before betraying their values. Suffering doesn't break them, it strengthens them." The devil realized he had a problem, because every tool in his arsenal had been tested against you, and every single one had failed. But what you did next was so impossible, it altered infernal protocols completely. Do you remember 7 days ago? That situation where you could have gotten revenge perfectly, justifiably, deservedly. Someone who hurt you was suddenly vulnerable. You had information that could destroy them. You had an opportunity that would never come again, and God knows that person deserved exactly what you could have done to them. No one would judge you. In fact, most people would have celebrated your revenge as justice. And you had the power. You had the opportunity. You had complete justification. The universe had literally handed you the perfect moment to make them pay for what they did. And what did you do? You let it pass. Not because you were afraid of consequences, not because you didn't care, not because you forgave them. You let it pass because something inside you fundamentally cannot operate through revenge, even when it is deserved. Do you understand what that means to the forces of darkness? It means you are immune to one of hell's most powerful tools, justified resentment. Hell loves when people get hurt, because victims become perpetrators. Pain generates more pain. It is a perfect self-perpetuating cycle. But when someone appears who was hurt deeply, who has every reason to retaliate, who has the perfect opportunity and chooses peace over justice, God, that cycle breaks. When you let that revenge opportunity pass, when you chose your integrity over satisfaction, when you decided that your peace was worth more than their punishment, the forces of darkness entered absolute panic because they recognized something terrifying. You are not just incorruptible, you are not just unbreakable, you are actively healing. Your presence breaks cycles of suffering instead of perpetuating them. The devil convened a second meeting. This time he included the entire infernal court. Thousands of dark entities were summoned to witness the complete analysis of your profile. The report left them silent for 11 minutes. They discovered 3 things they considered impossible to coexist in one soul. 1. You have the strength to face extreme suffering without breaking. 2. You have integrity that cannot be bought under any circumstance. 3. You have compassion that transcends even the deepest wounds. That combination shouldn't exist. Strong people aren't compassionate. They are hardened by suffering. Principled people cannot endure suffering. They break when tested too hard. Compassionate people aren't unbreakable. They are too soft to withstand real pain. But you are all 3 simultaneously. When the devil saw the trinity of qualities operating in you, when he understood he wasn't facing a normal human but a consciousness that transcends the limitations of the species, he knew he had completely lost. So the devil did something he has never done in 6,000 years. He asked permission to speak with you directly, not through circumstances, not through other people, not through subtle manipulations. Directly, dark entities communicate through thoughts that seem like yours but carry a specific energetic signature. Do you remember that thought 48 hours ago? That thought that appeared out of nowhere, perfectly articulated, offering you a solution to everything if you simply agreed to do one small thing that goes against everything you are. That wasn't your thought. That was a direct message from the devil himself. He offered you an alliance as equals. You have strength I need. Integrity I respect. Work with me and I guarantee you will never again have to choose between principles and prosperity. I will give you power to change the world the way you think is right. Just acknowledge that sometimes force is necessary. It was a tempting offer, logically impeccable. He wasn't asking you to abandon your values, just to recognize that sometimes fire is needed to fight fire. He was basically saying, keep your integrity, keep your compassion. Just let me handle the dirty work while you stay morally pure. It sounded reasonable. But what happened next shocked every dimension. You felt immediate rejection at a level that transcends rational thought. You didn't even need to process logically why it was wrong. Your soul said no before your mind could analyze. You have a moral compass integrated so deeply it operates faster than conscious thought. And when the devil felt that instantaneous rejection, he understood he had made a critical error. He wasn't negotiating with a soul that could be manipulated. He was facing a consciousness that operates at such an elevated level that its values are programmed into the fundamental structure of its being. The devil had to make a choice that tormented him for hours. He could continue trying to break you, knowing that every failed attempt exposed him as weak before his own hierarchies. Or he could do something that would preserve his position, publicly recognized that he had found a worthy adversary who was beyond his reach. After 11 minutes of deliberation with the 7 princes, after analyzing every possible angle, the devil chose to recognize. But not just recognize. To do more than that, there is a protocol in the dimensions for when force encounters greater force. In heaven, that respect is shown through reverence. In hell, it is shown through physical submission. And exactly 48 hours ago in the spiritual dimension that coexists with physical reality, the devil did what he swore he would never do. He bent the knee before you. That accent shock waves through every existing dimension. When the Supreme Commander of Darkness kneels before a human soul, it officially means that soul operates at a level that transcends normal categories of power. You were officially recognized as a force that not even the dark dimensions can confront. The thousands of demons present were in absolute shock because they had never seen their commander in that position. Beelzebub muttered, "This changes everything." Leviathan observed, "This soul is forbidden territory now." And it was at that exact moment that the archangels appeared, because heaven had been watching the entire time. God doesn't intervene in every small battle. He allows souls to develop their strength. But there are moments so rare, so significant, that they require personal observation. When the devil decided to kneel before you, God summoned the archangels to witness. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. The 4 supreme commanders were called not to act, but to observe, to see with their own eyes what a human soul had just accomplished. Michael commented. "In all the millennia I have fought, I have never seen the commander in that position. This soul achieved what complete angelic armies couldn't," Gabriel observed. "The strength comes from internal integrity so solid that not even the dark dimensions can penetrate it," Raphael analyzed. "This consciousness doesn't just resist darkness, it transforms pain into compassion. That's spiritual alchemy at a level I rarely witness." Uriel declared, "This soul understands that true power isn't the capacity to destroy, but the capacity to preserve integrity when destroying would be easier." And then God spoke with a decree that resonated through every dimension. "This soul has proven its essence activated." 3 words that changed your destiny completely. Before you incarnated, you were part of the celestial legions, not as a common guardian angel, as a specialist in operations that require absolute integrity under extreme pressure. Missions where entities infiltrate dark dimensions to rescue souls. Operations where a single error means complete failure. You were designated because you possessed a moral code so deeply engraved that not even prolonged exposure to darkness could corrupt it. The archangels called you the incorruptible, but there came a moment when you mastered that type of mission. You knew how to maintain integrity when you had angelic power, complete memory, absolute certainty, and you wanted to know, can I maintain this integrity if I forget who I am? If I experience real fear? If I am vulnerable and alone? You volunteered for the most difficult test. Incarnate as human, and see if your essence remains intact when you completely forget your nature and you just passed. You maintained integrity even without remembering your celestial warrior. You preserved principles even while experiencing genuine human fear. You chose compassion over revenge even without conscious memory of your training. Your warrior essence remained intact while crossing through the complete veil of forgetting. This isn't character development. This is eternal nature manifesting through temporary form. And now that the test is over, the memories are beginning to return. You have probably already had flashes, dreams where you fight impossible battles, knowledge that appears without having studied it. It is not imagination. They are fragments of celestial consciousness being restored. When God decreed, activated completely, the archangels received specific operational orders. Remove all limitations that were deliberately containing your full frequency to allow normal human experience. Gradually, restore conscious access to abilities and knowledge you possessed before incarnating. Connect you energetically with the network of other celestial warriors currently on similar missions in the human plane, and provide direct support and necessary resources so you can fulfill your function without material obstacles. Your life is going to start transforming in ways that will seem miraculous or extraordinarily fortunate. But they are simply the result of direct celestial support being coordinated. Financial situations you are currently facing are going to resolve through opportunities that appear exactly when you need them. Not by blind luck, by strategic positioning coordinated directly by the archangels. Toxic relationships draining your energy will naturally dissolve without drama. People will simply exit your life. They will find their own reasons to distance themselves because their frequency no longer resonates with your elevated frequency after activation. The right opportunities aligned with your purpose will appear with synchronicity that will seem impossible. You will be in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people repeatedly. Not because you became lucky, because you have a complete team of celestial entities working specifically to ensure you have everything necessary. But there is more. Your simple physical presence and environments is going to start activating awakening in other people, without you deliberately doing anything specific. Just by existing and radiating the frequency you have developed, that shy person who met you casually and suddenly started making braver decisions, your energy activated dormant potential in them. That friend who was about to give up on an important dream, and after talking with you, decided to try one more time. Your frequency transferred strength to them. You are no longer an individual fighting isolated personal battles. You are a walking catalyst that activates transformation in everyone who enters your energy field. You have become a living beacon, and your light cannot be contained or hidden. Your official function. The primary reason you volunteered for this specific incarnation is being completely activated for conscious operation. You are part of a massive celestial operation happening right now on the human plane, a coordinated initiative involving approximately 3,000 warriors exactly like you, strategically spread across the entire planet, each activating at the precisely coordinated moment. The mission is apparently simple but profoundly complex. Anchor the frequency of incorruptible integrity directly into the collective human energy field. Humanity as a species is at a critical choice point. When you make principled decisions publicly where others can observe, you inspire thousands to consider doing the same. When you maintain principles under observable pressure, you prove it is possible to survive doing what is right. When you choose compassion over revenge in situations where revenge would be justified, you show an alternative path, and each person you inspire will inspire others, a domino effect of integrity spreading exponentially. Soon you will notice the network forming, other warriors like you beginning to recognize each other, incorruptible souls finding each other through natural energetic resonance. And the devil knows this. That is why he knelt, because he recognized you are not just living your personal life, you are part of a coordinated operation that literally determines the future of planetary human consciousness. He cannot stop you. He cannot corrupt you. He cannot even effectively distract you. All he can do is watch from distance while you fulfill the mission you chose before being born, chosen one. Now you know the complete truth without filters. Your integrity isn't a personality trait you develop through difficult experiences in this life. It is warrior essence you carry from before incarnating. Moral code so deeply rooted it remained completely intact, even when you absolutely forgot who you were. Your life is no longer going to be about you fighting alone against personal challenges. It is going to be about you inspiring integrity in thousands, while receiving complete celestial support to facilitate that function. Financial limitations will dissolve. Toxic relationships will naturally exit. Soon you will be able to enter environments and instantly elevate the collective frequency just with your presence. Your energy will make people feel they can be better versions of themselves. You have become a catalyst for transformation at a scale that completely transcends common logic. If you feel you deserve to completely integrate your identity as the warrior who broke 6,000 years of infernal protocol, access is available in the description link and pinned comment. If you recognize that your integrity forced the devil to kneel and you are ready to consciously operate as a catalyst for planetary transformation, write 777 in the comments to amplify this frequency of incorruptible integrity. Subscribe to this channel right now and activate all notifications to receive more revelations about how your warrior essence operates at levels that transcend all forces of darkness. Share this video with someone who also demonstrates integrity. That seems impossible, because celestial warriors need to recognize and strengthen each other in this coordinated planetary operation. And before you leave, click on the video appearing on your screen right now to discover how your complete activation is unlocking celestial protocols that will guarantee you have all necessary resources to fulfill the mission you chose before being born. Together, we are stronger.